Here, Lori Ebaugh. Lori, if you would please press the red button and share with us what you'd like to this morning.
Good morning. I'm Lori Ebaugh, a representative for the Residential Customer Group, also known as RCG. We're a nonprofit corporation advocating for Michigan's residential electric and gas utility customers. I'm here today to share the threatened shutoff experience of two of our members, Lowell and Donna Kitzman, who couldn't attend today because they're out of state. They were threatened with a DTE shutoff in November of 2017. The Kitzmans were originally contacted by DTE in November of 2015 about changing their meter from an analog to an AMI, sometimes called a smart meter. The Kitzmans promptly communicated back to DTE with their concerns about an AMI meter, but received no response for 2 years until they were threatened with a shutoff last fall. Then our members were not even given 10 business days to respond. DTE's letter dated November 11th informed them that they would be shut off on or after December 4th, 2017 if they didn't contact DTE to schedule the meter exchange. Our members immediately wrote and called DTE at the number given on the letter, and they reached the Revenue Management and Protection Department. They were put on hold for 26 minutes. At that point, they were told to call another department, and at that department, they reached only a voicemail. They continued to try that same number for over an hour and eventually left a message requesting a utility customer hearing, and they said that they would call the Michigan Agency for Energy, the MAE, in addition, to speak with a regulation officer. After that, they called once again, and interestingly enough, the phone was picked up, and they spoke with an actual DTE representative. They were told after some time that an email would be sent by yet another DTE department and that their shutoff date would be delayed. They then called the MAE, where they were told that DTE would respond to their MAE inquiry within 10 days. It did take longer than 10 days, but they did finally get that inquiry started, and it's currently under investigation. It's ongoing. This is what the Kitzmans say in their own words. Quote, "As we have relayed to DTE in regard to the threat of shutoff, we are currently out of state and we are in our 80s. This is an investment property for us, and in addition, we have a contract with the tenant who has special needs, and that adds to the seriousness of this matter. The winter season in Michigan also brings with it the very real threat of frozen pipes if the electricity and the heat is turned off. We find this predicament most troubling and upsetting. Why DTE ignored us for the past 2 years and then waits until December and the winter in Michigan to threaten us with disconnecting our power adds to the stress too." Unquote. The MPSC rules are very confusing for most people to understand. The letter that the Kitzmans received on November 22nd, 2017 said nothing about their rights to file a complaint or to request a utility customer hearing. Luckily, our members knew that those options would halt the shutoff process until the matter is resolved, and so they are able to do that. Most of the people who have been shut off, and many of the people testifying today, don't know about those MPSC rules. RCG, in addition to working with the Kitzmans, has also been involved with trying to get the MPSC to look into this matter. There's a case right now open. It's with the MPSC. It's 18486. And we also spoke with the MPSC on 2 different occasions regarding these rules. On December 20th of 2016, RCG requested that the Commission would use its authority with the existing rules to temporarily waive the shutoff rules in the public interest and to restore power to those who had been shut off. Our initial concern was due to the winter last year, 2016. The winter weather conditions at that time was 9 degrees and there were gale force winds that were forecast. Our second request was in February of 2017 that the utilities would report to the Commission all people being threatened with shutoff and who had been shut off, so that those in authority at the MPSC would have the facts about who was being shut off and for what reason. In conclusion, we requested an investigation into DTE's history of these shutoffs, and that this case, U-18486, be meaningful and transparent, with the MPSC being required to notify those who have received any type of threatened shutoff letter or notice and those who are actually shut off. The current rules do allow the MPSC to require DTE and Consumers Energy to provide that kind of information to the MPSC, and the MPSC can notify those customers directly. We believe that there may be 20,000 households who are opting out and should also be notified of that investigation to see how they were handled. In my own experience with my own opt-out, and I was not shut off, and this was early on as my community was one of the very first in Michigan to receive smart meters or AMI. It took 60 days for me to get my opted out meter. And for 60 days, I had to leave my home and find a place that had an analog meter so that I could sleep, because I had found out that my insomnia and my own health problems were caused by the smart meter. So I had no clue of what the rules for Michigan customers are, and we should make that apparent, and the MPSC should be acting in the public interest. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Ebaugh. Any questions? Thank you for your testimony.